Hi, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Management Q&A. If you're here because I said that we were having a surprise guest today, we don't have the original surprise guest because of the snow, but we do have another surprise guest, which surprised even me. So we're going to start with our surprise guest. But before we do that, for those that I don't know and I haven't met before, I am Michelle Grimolia, the president and CEO here at Woodland Pond. So we're going to start with our surprise guest. But Amy, would you like to start our management Q&A and introduce our surprise guest?
Of course, I would love to.
Okay.
Michelle. Hello, I'm Amy McIntyre, the dining director. Woohoo! Very shy. Never. My poor mother. Okay. So I went to a dining committee this past month, and we were talking about how much we love the soups that are here. Yeah, right? Consistently amazing soups. I'll give you an example. Like today, there was the chicken ditalini soup over in the health center. And then tonight they had some kind of black bean something. And so you should have had the chicken soup in the pub today. But he said to me, I got to make a third soup. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, we had turkey noodle yesterday and chicken corn chowder the day before. And they're going to be unhappy with me. Like this is what goes on every day. So today he made that. I asked him for a veggie soup. That was all me because I needed that. But this is what we deal with. So dining committee said, can you please bring this chef to the meeting quickly, just so I can introduce him? No questions, no nothing, but he should get the credit that he deserves because he's been working now at Woodland Pond. How long? Going on 9 years. So, right. So I am so excited to introduce to all of you, because he doesn't even know that this is recording, Ian Dunkley. He is a chef manager at Woodland Pond, and he cooks for our health center primarily. He does breakfast and lunch in the health center, but he also makes all of your wonderful soups. Ian, stand up. Come on up. Yeah. Look, take it. You know, we're just always so quick to talk about all the negative, but with you guys, you have been giving me such amazing positive feedback, and my team needs to know, and they need to be appreciated. And that gave me chills that you clapped. All right, Ian, we'll leave you alone. No questions. You can go. Woo! And now I get to go really quick. I promise, Rob. Okay, I put in the Chanticleer this week, but I'm going to bring it up here at the Q&A. It was also brought up in dining committee that I should mention this at the Q&A, that if you were to come in between 4:45 and 6:15, those are your reservation times, and you did not have a reservation, but you had not ordered food ahead, change of plans, company came, whatever it is. If you were to go to the host stand, you can order hot food to go. I'm being told that not everyone knows that. So I did put it in the Chanticleer. I'm now saying it to the masses. Okay, so if you go to the host desk between 4:45 and 6:15, which is our business hours, even like till 7, because the kitchen's still open, we will, Ruth, it's usually Ruth or Tanya, they'll put in a ticket and it'll be a to-go. We started this, I don't know, let's say less than 6 months ago, when people would come and say they had a reservation and they didn't, and we were full. So instead of sending them away, we would send them with a hot meal because we want no one to not have dinner. And I can't just assume that they have something in their apartment. So we've started that, but moving forward, things happen. And any last minute meals that you need to have, just go to the host stand and they will always accommodate you. Okay. That being said, cancel your reservations if you're not coming. That's happening way too much. I'm getting a lot of no call, no shows. And it was brought to my attention in dining committee that, when you call the day before and you're like, oh, can you squeeze me into the 4:45? If I already have 10 spots taken in the 4:45, but yet the 5:30 and the 6:15 have open spots, I'm not going to accommodate you for the 4:45. I'm going to ask for you to take the 5:30 or 6:15. But what happens at that 4:45 is we had 2 no call, no shows. So I just, please be diligent. Things happen. There's no cancellation policy in the whole scheme of things. I know that my lovely Representatives at the host stand will give you a call and remind you when you've forgotten to come down. That happens every day. But that's just, we know to cancel our reservations. That way, when we do get the last minute calls, when someone wants me to fit them in at 4:45, I actually did have a table, but I said no to the person. When I actually did have a table, but two people just didn't show up. Two couples did not show up. So it was 4 guests total. And other than that, yeah, let's go on. Start date, new menus, March 18th. We are super excited. Spring and summer menus. Jared has been going crazy, taking everyone's advice, emails, feedback, wants, needs. So we're good. We did a survey recently about opening the pub on Saturdays. Okay. We got survey results back, and unanimously, breakfast is just not a good thing for Woodland Pond on Friday. Nobody wants Starbucks on Saturday morning. Sorry. Nobody wants breakfast at the pub on Saturday. Literally, I think the numbers are high. 84% said they'll never bring a guest at breakfast. 70% said they don't want any breakfast items. And 81% said they don't want any Starbucks. Lunch, it's half. It's always half in this group. You know that, right? You were all so down the middle. So because it's half, dining committee suggested trying a 90-day, and Michelle, I talked to her about it today and she's okay with it, to see how we do. So we're going to start April 1st, having the pub open from 11:30 to 2 with a modified menu. So you'll have your hot soup and the sandwiches to go and some Danish, whatever we got. Starbucks, obviously. We're going to do this for a 3-month period. I'm going to track it. We're going to see how it goes. Then I'll go back to dining committee. I'll go back to Michelle, and then we'll make decisions if it's something successful and it's worth doing, because we don't want to lose money to have the pub open. And think about labor cost and me also producing food, and that's producing waste if you're not coming. So if I have to make 20 extra sandwiches and then you don't come, eventually they're going to get thrown out. I mean, ideally they can maybe use on Monday, but you understand the idea of this. Okay. I'm going quick. One more and I'm done. Happy or not. Just because it's so much fun and the people at home can hear me. Just want to go over some of the feedback from this week. And then, to know that there was 110 people that, use the Happy or Not machine. I encourage everyone to use it. You don't always have to say something, but your feedback is valuable because I track it all. On 3/12, service was excellent. Where's the white sugar? Seem a need for packets. On Friday night, the fried fish was cold inside. Very unpleasant. 3:10, super delicious pork tenderloin, wild rice, beans cooked just right. Teresa does a great job. Everybody loves this new guy, Chris. I don't know. Chris' service was immaculate. Can't wait to have him again. Anthony G did a good job. All good. Good service by Trey. No veggie options at the free complimentary happy hour. I gotta work on that. Wait for this. Amy's peach cobbler was outstanding. I stress bake. I've been very stressful lately. Monique's service was great. Salmon great. Pot roast excellent. Wait staff is pleasant. Fruit in the cups are not ripe. Why sell them if they're not edible? That's something that's great feedback. Here's a fun one. Loved the falafels. Wait for it. The falafels were inedible. Right? Chef special tonight was tasty, but lukewarm. Chef special stuffed fish was excellent. Chris was a good waiter. Good fish tonight. So I'm getting the feedback. I'm going to stop doing this, but the feedback is that you guys like when we throw on the special stuff, right? We've been doing the market specials, the fish. I've been baking because why not? I promise I'm doing apple pie this week because a lot of people didn't get the apple crumb pie. I heard you guys heard that a case of apples came in and we couldn't use them. And I got really mad. And that's why I made apple pie. It was, yeah, but I don't care because now I told Jared to buy them on purpose. Okay. I have nothing more. Any questions for me?
Hang on, Joan, hang on.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, thank you.
I want to thank you and Michelle for being so open and accepting of the trial period of the lunch on Saturday. members of the committee have really wanted that, and I thank you very much.
Absolutely. We were kind of surprised by the survey. We thought it would be a little bit more wanting the open, it was really down the middle. So let's just try it. And that's why I'm mentioning at the Q&A today, because it's like a learned behavior not to come to the pub on the weekend. So let's unlearn that behavior. If I'm there, maybe you'll come. I will never be there, but you know what I mean. All right. Anything else? Yes. Absolutely. I'll put a sign up. We just made the decision today, but we are going to put it in the Chanticleer tomorrow, and we'll definitely market it because the idea is for it to be successful. I want you to come.
I hope we don't ever go through another couple of days like the last couple of days. But the solution for the cottage people that you should think ahead
Yes.
and get 2 dinners in a row seems to me wrong. It just does not seem to be putting the burden in the right place. And then I called a friend at another CCRC, and she said that they deliver meals during blizzards so that
Okay.
people don't have to go out. My problem was I was away on Monday, so I faced the possibility of starving to death on Tuesday.
You all have full kitchens. And you all have that, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't help us.
If there's power outage, I would bring food myself over to you since I stayed at a hotel up the road and was here at 6 a.m. So you all had breakfast and our staff who came in. So my point is I had 6 wait staff call out, 4 dietary aides and 3 cooks yesterday. Nobody wanted to work. It happens. Michelle and the whole Woodland Pond, leadership team, we accommodated people to stay overnight. I fed all the staff that were spending the night or doing doubles. We fed them at night and at breakfast, and we still had a lot of call outs. Let's get a better process in place. That is a new process that we're starting, closing the dining room and letting you know ahead of time. Michelle and I were messaging back and forth on Sunday morning so that a note was on the desk, the host stand by Sunday brunch to make you aware that what the process was going to be. So we're learning. So now that you're giving me that great feedback, I'll go back to the team and I'll figure out what we can do about cottages. It's hard maybe I can get security involved, somebody else to get that food over to you, because I'm not sure if any of my staff is going to deliver it. I'm being honest. So it may be like me or Jason, but we'll figure that out. You like how I said, you, Jay? You're going to be with me. Yeah, we'll do it. So that's the thing. I would have come too. So we'll look at that process. All right. Any other questions for Amy? Well, my guys are always.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Robert Dunn, Director of Environmental Services. 2 things I wanted to touch on that were brought up. I know a lot of residents have come to me continually about recycling. So I know for Earth Day, I'm going to put a display together that everybody can see and kind of get an idea of what recycling should be. We're in the process of, stripping and waxing the garbage room floors, which I think South Wing we just finished last week. So we'll move on to Central and then to North to refinish all those floors. And then we'll redo the signs in the containers once that's all complete, but we can go back and do the South Wing one. So if you have questions on that, always call us when it comes to recycling items, but we'll do a display. We did this about 4 or 5 years ago, I think. And I think it helped people just see the items and figure out where they belong in those garbage rooms. As I went through the rooms as we were waxing them, there are a lot of items just being put in the wrong place. It's just part of the education piece that we need to come up with and do better on in educating people as to where they go and how we can fix that. The second thing, I did reach out to a lot of people yesterday on your annual. So with what we have scheduled and what we've accomplished, we're at about 75% with what I got scheduled up to, I think May 1st at this point is where I'm scheduling now. So if any of you have not been called for that yet, call us and we'll get it scheduled for you, because we are scheduling for May and then we'll move on to June, and then we should be at 100%. My plan is to be at 100% by, somewhere I would say by the beginning of July, so we can start over. So it's been a long time, if ever we've done that on annual cleaning. So be mindful, answer the phone when we call, please. All right, that's very helpful to try and get these scheduled. But we're doing really well with those.
Hang on, Ronnie.
He's coming with the mic, Ronnie.
With the education for the recyclable bins, there needs to be some education also about the composting bins. Because there's all kinds of junk going in there.
Correct. And I think with composting, I can reach out to the composting company if they want to come in and have something like this, and they can have those discussions as well. I know even in-house, we're kind of guilty too of contaminating the composting, on the employee side. I think we're the largest contaminator, not really you guys. I think you guys do a better job. It's not perfect than we do, because a lot of the butter packets or stuff will sneak in there from that kind of thing. But that's usually what, they're finding on our end. So yes, you're correct. When it comes to that, I can probably do a display on composting, but I'll ask Molly from the company if she's got anything else we can work on in the back. I'll get to you next. Go ahead, Vicky.
Hi, yeah, I think that any kind of instruction signs, especially in the waste areas, should be in English and Spanish.
We can do that as well. My concern with putting too many signs in those garbage rooms, and there's a lot because you've got light bulbs. Once you get to the second sign, I'm sorry, nobody's reading. You know what I mean? You're walking in the room, you're putting it wherever it is. I don't know whose vodka bottles were just left on the floor. Sorry. If you don't want to raise your hand, it's okay. But I did found that, which kind of makes sense because there was 2 empty bottles there, not just one. So those are the things that you see. But, I think if we go too much signage, it gets a little too much for people, because I tried to list as much information on there without people just tuning it out, Go ahead.
Hi, I don't know what the plans for the compost are, but will we be able to have access to compost it so that we can use it in our gardens outside or not?
The composting company, they take it and they turn it into their soil or do whatever they do with it. They don't return it to us, but maybe that's something we could look into with Molly and say, hey, can we develop something that, we can get a little bit of that back from us? But I see what you're saying, and I'll reach out to Molly on that and talk to her.
That'd be great, because the soil outside my porch is terrible.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So.
The reason, the reason for the Spanish signs in the
I know.
garbage room are for housekeeping, because housekeeping is, I noticed, going with the wrong place with certain things. So
Yeah, we're all guilty of it. It's everybody. It's not just one group, but it's everybody. And that I can take care of on my end in my departmental meetings that we have weekly. All right, so I'll address that, like when they are for certain departments doing that, I can address that on their end. Yeah, I mean that, like I said, I can't police everybody. It's just impossible. We're asking an impossible task for everyone to do the same thing. If I asked you all to vote the same way, are you going to do it? No. So it's just, I understand, but it's very difficult to police all this stuff. Unless you all want to stand guard and take turns outside your garbage rooms, and we'll get you a badge, that's fine. We'll get you a Sharpie and a pen, and you can start taking names on each other. That's fine. We'll see how long that lasts. But I see what you mean. It's just difficult. Anything else? Recycling? Go ahead, Maddie. Jason's coming. Oh, you want like the deposits?
Robert, yeah, repeat that question.
She's looking to ask if we can have the deposits, like a plastic glass or even the water bottles you guys pay deposits on. We might be able to do something like that, but then it's collecting who's going to bring it to the store and do all the deposit. That becomes a okay. All right. I mean, that's something we can look into. And I think some garbage rooms, I could say yes, if we designated a few garbage rooms on certain floors. Some garbage rooms get very crammed. And I just don't want it to be another container where your vodka bottle is going to go somewhere, But I just don't want those rooms to be too cluttered for you to be able to access them, you know, so if we need to make changes, we can look at that and do something like that. Anything else? No? Okay, thank you.
Can't believe that thing worked. Hi, everyone. My name is Cameron Ilgner. I'm the Strategic Initiative Specialist here. I just have a few things to update you on. First and foremost is we will be, I suppose, reinstituting our collaboration with the Alzheimer's Association. In years past, we've had a team who has contributed and fundraised for the Walkway Over the Hudson event that they have every October, led by Ina over here. But this year we are going to be working with the foundation in order to be a rather large sponsor. Due to the amount of staff and residents that we have here, especially those who I know would be interested in contributing. I think that we could have a very large presence in doing so. So the date of that is on October 14th. There will be announcements made from now until then with updated information and such, but just to give you a heads up now. In addition with doing the walk, we also have decided to become a community partner with them. So with that being said, you'll be seeing more resources that they provide, different educational programs and such that we'll be having here. So that's that. The second thing that I think has been made aware is the Adopt a Highway. So Adopt a Highway is a program that is through the Department of Transportation through New York State. It's a pure donation-based program that basically we donate our time and resources to fix a certain amount of land of the highway. So Dave Smith could probably tell you better. Where are you, Dave? Back here. Do you know what the exact landmarks are off the top of your head?
I had the mile markers, but not with me, but it's essentially use Lowe's as a center point. It's about a half mile past Lowe's and a half mile before Lowe's, both sides of the road. We chose that because it's wide, it's straight. There's no hills, there's no embankments, no swamps, and easy access.
Thank you. So basically we have seamlessly decided to adopt that highway, and starting the week of Earth Week, we will be basically overcoming that entire area. So this first round that we'll be having will be the executive team along with the Land Conservation Committee, since they're the group that had spearheaded this. And we will be going out and starting the cleanup. Now, after this one instance takes place next month, we'll be having routine cleanups in which residents and staffs can work collaboratively together to do so. And as always, details to come on that. The third thing I'm going to mention, and I don't really know how much Michelle has said on this, is we are planning to hold an emergency exercise here at Woodland Pond. Don't say anything. Oh. So this is going to be a rather large exercise that will be inclusive of the entire Ulster County community. This is something that has not necessarily been done to this capacity other than in other areas such as West Point and a little bit further south, but never in Ulster County. And my apologies for being vague, but we are in the preliminary planning phases of this. And we are basically working with the fire department, local and state police agencies, emergency response, the American Red Cross, and other, handful of groups that will be contributing to this. So as always, and like I keep on saying, there will be more information to come, but just know that there's a lot of planning efforts being proposed for this to happen in the next upcoming months. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is we have been, and we're growing our platform with the Ulster County Chamber of Commerce. In doing so, just as the other things I had mentioned, we're trying to have a little bit more of a footprint as far as community relations go. And in doing so, we had the chamber here in the fall when we had the ribbon cutting for Sawyer Savings Bank, as many of you may remember. So we are going to continue to do so, and we are going to hold a mixer here, which will be for the chamber partnerships exclusively. But just to give you, some heads up, we're doing that. We're trying to work with the chamber in order to go to some more networking events and just kind of get Woodland Pond seen and heard. So any questions? Dave?
Yeah, did you pick a date yet for, you said Earth Week, but is a date specific been assigned yet?
I'm working with Todd to get
Todd.
that date. But I'll let the Land Conservation Committee know.
Also, some of the people from the Earth Day group have reached out to me to try to find out, because I think they're trying to work all their programs around this as well.
Right. So as I had mentioned before, we're planning on keeping it a little bit smaller since it's the executive committee and the Land Conservation Committee. Once I hear back to see exactly from those two groups who will be coming, which hopefully will be within the next week or so, then I'll reach out and, we'll see who else we can take. Not that we're not wanting to extend the invite to everybody, but there will be opportunities, continuously to do so. Anybody else?
Hang on, Mr. Hoffman, here we come.
I just wonder, do we have anybody that goes to the Ulster County Chamber meetings and report on them?
I do go. I haven't reported on them. I can start.
Well, having gone there for years, I know there's a lot of important things come up, and I'm sure there's some things that should be brought back to us.
Okay, yeah, this is a new thing that Michelle and I decided we wanted to constitute for the community in 2023. So I had gone to the first meeting. Last meeting, I was out sick, and then we have another one coming up in a few weeks, so we can definitely do that.
Yes, I think that's important.
Okay, anybody else? All right, thank you.
I'm Shannon Scatoro, the Director of Marketing. I don't have much on my end other than we are still full. We are growing our wait list every day. So thank you all for talking to the new people as you see us touring around. Our future residents are starting to visit more and more. I know in our audience, we have some guest visitors today. Welcome, Lois and Harry. You're welcome. So there are lots of people on our future residency list that are going to be visiting more and more. So you will see people, they do have a future resident badge at the under their ID badge to kind of indicate who they are. So definitely go see them, say hello, talk to them about your experience coming here. It's always very helpful. And that's really what they want to visit to learn more of is you and how you like living here. So thank you again for all of that. And of course, if anyone is interested in having us show your home, please reach out. With having a full house, we do need resident apartments to show when we have tours. It's a pretty quick appointment. Either myself or Courtney or Natalie would be accompanying the prospective residents, so they wouldn't just go in on their own. You can choose to be there, not be there. That's entirely up to you, but it's roughly about 15 minutes or so. It's not a big thing to do, but we do appreciate it, and we're always welcoming more to add to our list. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Yes, I was wondering if you could inform people moving in that their moving trucks are not allowed to use the parking lot where the door that's next to the library. When the moving trucks park there, and there was one there just last weekend, they completely blocked the sidewalk so that people cannot walk to the health center, which means they can't walk to their physical therapy and visitations.
Yes.
They also block cars from moving in the parking lot, and sometimes they're there for hours. So how could you make this a hard and fast rule that they must use the ground floor exit in the back, not that door?
Right. So we are aware of that. That's not supposed to happen when the mover trucks arrive. They're supposed to go to the end of the wings for whichever wing the residents are moving into and go there. All moving companies have to check in at the concierge to receive their moving badges, and they are directed to park where they're supposed to. With that being said, when they do not follow the rules that they're being told, that's another story. So that is not supposed to happen and hopefully will not happen again.
Okay, so we're not supposed to enforce the rules. So we report to the concierge. Should we expect
Yes.
that?
Yes, or any,
somebody in the security or something like that will go and tell them.
You can let
make
any
sure
of
they
us
move?
know, right?
Okay, so that's what we're supposed to do.
Yes.
All right.
Any more questions for me? No? All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sarah Leonard, Resident Services Director. It's great to see you all. Just some activity announcements to start with. So the Resident Association meeting, which did not make it on the calendar, is on March 29th at 3 p.m. So again, the Resident Association meeting, March 29th at 3 p.m. I'm sure it's going to be in the Chanticleer. I just wanted to announce it here as well. It's always best to announce in several places. And also just a reminder that the Maggie McDowell Memorial Lecture Series, which is offered by the Society of the Hudson Valley Vernacular Architecture, will be at Woodland Pond on Saturday, March 18th at 11 a.m. here. And the Dutchess County historian, Bill Jeffway, will present Overcoming Differences in Race, Faith, and Wealth, what the architecture of Rhinebeck's Oak Street tells us about our nation's earliest embrace of the promise that all are created equal. So again, that's March 18th at 11 a.m. and you can sign up at the concierge desk. And also I'm doing annual visits. And what that is an opportunity for me and you to get to know one another a little bit better. So you'll be receiving a call from either Crystal or Jeff to schedule that. And it's a casual visit. It's an informal visit. I'll come to your residence and we'll get to know each other a little bit better. And then I'll go over your emergency packet, take a look at your residence, ask you if there's anything that needs to be repaired there, and just check in and see how you're doing. And it's an opportunity for you to share with me, if you'd like, any changes in your health or otherwise, any concerns you have, any suggestions you have about the lifestyle at Woodland Pond, any complaints you might have, things you feel we might need to work on. So it's a great opportunity for us to visit together. So you can expect those calls to be coming up soon. And I look forward to it. I really enjoy those visits. All right, any questions for me? Betsy.
I understand there's a program at 3 o'clock today here. Would you describe that, please?
That program, the Amy Nitza program, I had sent an email out yesterday. I don't remember what time it was, morning, or it might have been Monday night. So Amy decided that she didn't want to risk not being able to get here from where she was in terms of the weather. So unfortunately, she requested that we postpone it and until April, or possibly a little bit later than that. And that program was going to be brought to you by the Mental Health Task Force. So at the next Mental Health Task Force meeting, we're going to discuss when she'll be rescheduled for that. And that was going to be a program on resilience.
All right, first we'll go to Ann.
Ann.
Yes, when there's an evening event here in the PAC, would it be possible to have the starting time set back to 7:30, the way it always used to be? Because those of us who eat dinner at 6:15 are always late to the evening events. And I think just that 1/2 hour difference would be very helpful.
I'll have to look back on the history on that because I think that no matter which time we pick, if we pick 7 or 7:30, I think it's going to fall down the middle again and be 50% of you are unhappy with it and 50% of you are happy with it based on it's too late, it interferes with my evening activities. So honestly, my inclination is to leave it as is. And perhaps if there's something that you really want to go to that's at 7, maybe just for that night, eat a little bit earlier.
Sarah, can you also mention that not only Amy Nitza her presentation has been canceled, but also the roundtable?
Right. So there's every time the mental health task force hosts a program, there's always a roundtable either the next day or the day after. And that's an opportunity for any interested residents to come and just talk about what they heard, what they learned, and have a discussion together. So that will be canceled as well. All right. Have a good afternoon, and I will hand it over to Tom.
Hi, Tom Tango, Director of Plant Operations. And let me go through a few things. First, I want to say thank you to everybody for the pre-snow parking and moving vehicles out of the health center parking lot and off the road. That works out great. And you guys have been fantastic. When I come in the morning, I see very few cars in the health center parking lot, and I see no cars on the roadway. And what that does is that lets plow guys do a much better job on the road. And by keeping cars out of the health center parking lot, it lets us open up a parking lot as soon as the snow stops. Because otherwise, if there were cars in everywhere, there'd be no lot to plow. And then when the snow ends, there's nowhere to park. So a couple of years ago, we started this, and you guys have been great keeping the cars out of where they shouldn't be. So thank you. Also, let me follow up on the issue about the moving vehicles and where they shouldn't be. Like Shannon said, don't hesitate to call concierge and let us know. You know, sometimes a lot of days I don't even leave the basement, and we don't see, we don't go upstairs and see things. And I don't have any hesitation going to them and tell them to move. If they give me a hard time, I'll go downstairs and get April. It's not a problem. We're in process with the LED bulb swap. I canceled yesterday, and I had to cancel the week before, or 2 weeks before, for the Department of Health was here. So we do it every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. It's working better than this mic. All right. It's worked good so far. It's nice. We go into an apartment, and when we leave, there is much better light, even color lighting, and less energy use lighting. So it's good. So we keep going. So I think Tuesday we do 3, 4, and 5, the crossover section in between north and south. So we'll keep going. And then we miss people because sometimes people aren't home or whatever reason we don't get into an apartment. Once we finish more, we'll start coming back to the individual ones and getting everybody. But so far it's been great. And the resident assistants that we get helping, the volunteers have been great. Everything's been working really well with that whole issue, that whole program. A lot of you are aware the South Wing has no air conditioning right now. That died last year. We just signed a contract to replace the entire HVAC systems in the South, Central, and North Wing. So in a couple months from now, you're going to be seeing cranes out here getting the large equipment up onto the roof where it has to go. So within a few months, we're going to have brand new HVAC equipment, and that does all the hallways of the 3 wings. And so you're going to have we're going to have less aches, less problems, because it'll be all be brand new. And it will also be much, I can stand here a few more muches, much better energy efficiency because they'll be brand new units. So that'll be in a couple months. We're also going to be, I had some residents come and express some interest in what to do with their canoes and kayaks. We're building down on the back access road in a turnaround area. We're going to be building a canoe rack, a canoe storage rack. I don't have a time frame for when we'll get to that, but we got to wait till the weather's warmer, and we got to wait for that road to get finished over by the new cottage. But then we'll be putting a canoe storage rack down there for storage of whatever kind of boats that you can fit on top of your car, you know, a canoe, a kayak, that kind of thing. And there'll be more information about that as we get closer to it and we start to finish it. We're also in the process of developing a policy and a use procedure for the resident wood shop. You know, we have a shop downstairs that's really stocked well of tools. I used to, many years ago, as a shop teacher. I appreciate it. It feels like home down there. But we just wanted to develop a policy that lets everybody use it in as safe a manner as can be. And we're doing that. We had a meeting with a bunch of residents who use it, and we're going through that process. And very soon we'll have that ironed out, and there'll be more information on that. To those of you who have asked for a while, I know that we're going to be changing the LED lights in skilled nursing. And I keep telling you, we haven't gotten approval. We're going to start that within the next week or two. And we're going to start with by the nursing station in skilled. And then we'll be doing what we've been promising now for an awful long time. So you'll be seeing that happening too. The new cottages, they're progressing well. Any day, well, except for the snow now, we're going to start the third one. The contractor will come by for that. And we're also waiting in another week or two. We're going to get the concrete poured on the two that started already. And currently, and that's about it. The other thing is I still have one maintenance opening. I have an opening for a maintenance technician. Like I say all the time, if you guys are aware of somebody that would be a good job for, tell them to look it up and ask me any questions. But we do have an opening for one maintenance tech. And with that, any questions?
I'm going to go to Rolf over here.
Yes, Tom, I got a question. When there's a power outage here, can you tell us if the such things as the purge unit and also the emergency switch by the showers, which has the pull cord on it, do they operate with the power down?
Yes. They all go to a server that is on emergency power.
Oh, I'll answer some of that too. All of the devices that we have here are all wireless. So nothing is wired internally. Everything you see in the bathroom, obviously your PERS is wireless because it's battery powered, but everything is battery powered, which is why we test it during the PM schedule.
Right,
Our server is on emergency power. So unless something crazy happens, they will all work. And the phone system is on emergency power too, and a battery backup. So the phone system, well, for us will work. You know, for Spectrum, we'll have to see on that.
Right. When we lose power, the emergency power kicks on in 6.6 seconds. We just paid for a device that does that. So it used to be like 9 seconds, but now it's 6.6. So
I'm going to go to Charlie first and then Betsy.
Thank you. Tom, I'm not sure you're the right person to address this question to.
If it's something positive, then yeah. If it's a complaint, it's Rob.
We have inherited a very nice garden outside our apartment. And of course, we moved here. We have no tools to do anything with, no rakes, no cultivators. We need help to maintain that. We want to try to maintain it in pristine condition. We need help. We're willing to pay for.
No, that we have a couple things. In another week or two, we have Mark Eisenhandler. He's yeah, you know, everybody knows who Mark is. Mark was starting a couple weeks ago, and he's available to do just exactly what you're saying. But we can also have other people to do that. Also, if there's something you need, like a tool or an implement, feel free to ask. We can help, you know, we can provide that. So without a doubt, that's something that we do.
Yeah, we want to keep things trimmed up, mulched up, and keep it looking nice. And we don't want to return it all to grass. It's really pretty, and everybody can appreciate it if we keep it up.
Without a doubt,
So
we
like to
just
keep it
don't.
up, but we don't have quite the tools to do it.
Yep. Anytime you need and like I always say to everybody, the best thing would be always just call concierge and we'll put a work order in and then somebody will come by. All right.
Thank you.
Betsy.
I saw a sign that the pub was going to be closed for some renovations. Please tell us what you're going to do in there.
Yeah, we're gonna do that next week. We were gonna do it this week, but with the snow, we changed. We're not gonna do a lot, but what we are gonna do is, when you're standing at the pub, the countertop right now, it's vinyl floor tiles that I put on about 5 years ago. And they look pretty classy, but they're starting to lift and they look like somebody stuck vinyl floor tiles on there. So we're going to replace those with laminate from Formica, and not only the front, but the whole back. Like if you look at the back counter where the coffee machines are and the sinks are, over the years, there's been some holes in that wood that we've patched, and we made sure we did it in a really bad looking way. So we're going to change all that. And so when you're standing at the pub, you no longer see the mismatched patches and the vinyl flooring. You'll just see one complete looking laminate, look good. So that's what we're going to do on next week. And we'll see how that goes.
Another quick thing about the pub, and maybe I'm jumping on Amy too. I don't know if we've talked about this before. We're getting a new point of sale system for the whole community. We're getting menu boards that are going to be in the pub and the dining room. I think actually, no, by the hostess station. Residents are now going to be able to order at the table from the server because they're going to have an iPad to come and take your order. It'll go automatically to the screens in the kitchen. You'll see the menu boards hanging at the hostess station. Again, you'll see it in the pub. Amy, do you want to talk any more about this or? Yeah. Well, at home. All right, I'll leave it. I just want to jump on that quick. Hang on. Ronnie Sue first.
It's like when somebody jumps in your Facebook post,
Hi, Tom. The planters in the driveways of the cottages, they're falling apart.
I know, and we will.
I know you know. I've
And-
heard a rumor, and I'm asking the man if
Right.
this rumor is correct, that when the new cottages are built, you're going to fix
That
this.
was the thought, but no, we will be. I don't want to say anything right now that I have to Michelle about yet, but we will be doing something about those this year, before the fall. I can just say, well, we probably will. Probably will. We're going to put some floor tiles on it.
Okay, so let's just dispel the myth right now. The problem with those planters is they're prohibitively expensive. Something has to go in to replace them, despite the fact that they are prohibitively expensive, because of the fact that they are actually protecting utilities. If they were not protecting utilities, we would not be putting them back in, because they are a pain in the butt. Excuse my foul language. They were poorly constructed and very poorly designed, but they're extremely expensive. Monuments to stupidity. We are not putting planters in the cottages, right? The new cottages, we're not putting them in at all. So we have to come up with a design that isn't going to break the bank and figure out what we're doing in the existing cottages, which we will be doing. We do have budgeted money, even though they're prohibitively expensive, for 2023. So something will be getting done. We do have to solidify the plan. So Cameron and Tom and I had done some research last year to figure out what we're going to do. So something will be getting done. If you have a dangerous situation with your planter, you need to put a work order in immediately if you live in a cottage. So please do not wait, despite what you're hearing in terms of our very amusing banter. That's the number one message. If you have a dangerous situation with your planter, I'm reiterating that to you. You need to put a work order in right away and let us know that. That's the most important situation.
Correct.
Did I get that right?
Correct.
Okay. Back to you.
Yeah, because like Michelle said, if it wasn't for those planters, we'd have to have like the bright orange or yellow metal bollards standing there in front of the gas meter. So that's the reason. Next, anything else?
Tom, compliments to you and your staff for managing the cleanup of the parking lots over the last couple of days. as has been true in the past as well. They did a fantastic job of getting everything cleaned up.
Thank you.
And that,
Thank you.
That just doesn't happen. I'm sure there's a degree of interaction between you and your staff, letting these people know what to do, what you expect to get done, and them following
Correct.
up to
Yeah,
make sure it does get done.
Yeah,
Good job.
thank you. Yeah, 90% of it is all contractor, and there's been a learning curve, but they've, things are going better now than it used to. Yeah. But a lot of that also goes back to, like I started. I also a lot of it goes to the fact that of the cooperation we are getting in the pre-snow parking. That works out too. Anything else? All right, thank you. Oh.
Everybody, I'm Bridget Blum, Director of Human Resources. I have just two very quick announcements. The first is related to the room booking form. If you recall, when you are looking to book a room here at Woodland Pond, one of the public spaces, you have to complete a form that's available at the concierge. You have to identify what the purpose of the room booking is. And, there's a series of questions that have to be answered. Please make sure that you are completing that form and turning it into the concierge in advance of the room booking. That's the whole idea. It's not, on Saturday that just passed. This was the event that I had, and here's the form after the fact. So please make sure that you're doing that in advance. The other announcement that I wanted to make is about your ID badges. I know that when something goes wrong or you need a replacement or it's broken, whatever the case is, you fill out a form with concierge to request a new badge, a replacement badge. Right now, the badge machine, the system is down. We are waiting on a replacement ribbon that I'm not hopeful is going to fix the problem, but we are going to try this as the first course of action. So just know that if you have a request for a replacement in to us, it might take a couple of days to get that fulfilled. I know that there's two current, so I just wanted to let you know that the machine is actually currently down. So if you're waiting for a replacement badge, that's why you don't have it yet. Okay.
Bridget, just so you know, and if anyone does have an issue, I've got plenty of badges in my desk that I can make temporary badges for.
Perfect. Okay. All right, great. So Jason, with the two that Joanne currently has, I'll have her get the names to you so you can see if it's a situation where they need it, urgently. Okay. Any questions?
All right, Mr. Wolves, hang on.
About the room booking, does that include the conference room and the classroom for like 1 hour meetings? Or are you talking about?
Great question. And I'm sorry, I didn't clarify that. This is for large group events. So for example, if you're going to have a group event, if you're inviting people from, the community, or it's a public event of any kind, or, if someone's having a birthday party for, family and they're reserving the game room or the card room, something like that. So this is more of a event where it's not for just residents of Woodland Pond. If you're inviting anyone from the outside of
Okay,
Woodland
so
Pond
for just
community.
a Woodland Pond resident event in a classroom, for instance.
Correct, yes.
Don't need to.
You do not need to do room booking form for those types of events.
Thank you.
And Michelle, do I need to clarify that anymore? No. Okay. Only question? Okay. Yes. Thank you for that clarification, because otherwise I'll be getting hundreds of room booking forms and I don't want to get those. So, okay. Then if nothing else, I'm going to turn over to Michelle. Jason? Oh, Jason, sorry.
Well, I mean, we've only got 5 minutes left. I'll put whatever I have in the Chanticleer. All right. Well, okay. Charlie, I know you had a question. I'll take any questions. No? Good. All right. Yeah. So the visual touch is coming in like 6 months to a year, right? I'm kidding. No, I was kidding. All right. Dr. Espick, I know you had a question. Hang on.
In newer buildings for seniors, one of the things that being implicated now is, installed are wheelchair access or sinks in the buildings, newer buildings, where a wheelchair patient, because wheelchair patients can be independent in living, wheelchair patients can toilet, push their wheelchair to the sink and do their light toileting. Do you have plans for such access in the newer buildings?
Not currently, no.
Is it possible that that can be done at this time? And in New Jersey, they require wheelchair access for buildings for seniors.
So currently that's a regulation for health centers in New York State. It's something we could consider if we look at renovation or expansion plans.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, we all get older and people who are ambulant when they move in become wheelchair, but independent in ADL facilities.
Yeah, I don't think.
And it's something that we should keep in mind. The next thing that you don't have is access, overflow access for the sinks, so that water is always overflowing because the sinks do not have that excess.
I think our new sinks that we're putting in, the new sinks that we install have them. Is that right, Tom? So some of our original sinks did not have them, but our new sinks do when we do our renovations. Jason, what else do you have on your agenda for today, please? And I'll do the mic.
Okay, so the only thing I wanted to talk about, and I talk about this almost every time, is our mass notification system. The other day, this week, we've sent out a few mass notifications for the storm and for some other things. If any of you ever do not receive an alert or you want to change your alert, the way you're getting alerted, let us know at the concierge desk and we'll make the change. I know there was one resident this week that did not receive the alerts. And again, if we don't know, I can look through the system, but I'll have to look through every name. We think that we have them all there, but if you're not receiving the alerts, you have to let us know. I'll let, since Shannon is here and Courtney's here, obviously, since we have some two, new, soon to be new residents, it's not really a need to add them to the communication system. But if you ever wanted to get on the communication system just to know what to expect, you could let Courtney know and we could add you to the list. But again, if you're receiving texts and you don't want to receive texts, if you're just getting calls and want to receive a call to your home, let us know. Another thing I wanted to talk about is, this is something everyone should know, is read the Chanticleer. Every week we're putting out information. There's, like Sarah said, there's schedule changes. All of our communication weekly that's not emergency communication is in the Chanticleer. We want you to read it. If you have questions or if you need a copy, go to the concierge desk. We could print you one. I don't know. Does anyone have any questions on either of the things I just talked about? Anything else? None? Michelle?
I don't have anything for you. Does anybody have anything for me right now? I mean, I've got a million topics I could talk about, but it's 2:30, so I'm not going to hold you. Maddie's got something.
This is an unscheduled a note, but as many of you knew, I took a spectacular fall about 2.5 weeks ago. I mean, flat, absolutely no warning, and I could not get up. There was no way. I wear this 24 hours a day. I don't take it off. I don't take it off at night. I pressed it. Someone was there within 4 minutes, maybe 5. EMS was there within 10 minutes. And I'm telling you, it made all the difference. I could have lain there and frozen to death. There was no way that anything good was going to come of it. So I'm telling you, don't wait until somebody in your family almost needs it. There are times when you're alone, you live together, one of them goes away, wear your PERS. It was a miracle. And as you see, here I am on both feet.
Thank you very much, Maddie. Your $20 will go into your mailbox. I mean, $2,000. All right. Does anybody have anything else for me? Questions, comments, anything? All right. Well, have a great afternoon then. Thank you very much for coming. Bye.